I have cut out all the spot welds in this area here, going down the sides. I've dug cuts all the way across the back on each side, and I've split the welds back here on the tunnel. I had to cut off the tabs that were located on each side here and here. I'll show you those in a minute. And down there, I tried drilling through, but I couldn't find where the spot welds were actually at because of the angle and stuff. So I ended up using this air spot weld splitter and working from this side over here and just bashing the damn thing apart. So anyways, I'm now at the point where I can take out this mess. There we go. Now let's widen this out to real wide angle. So this piece here is where the battery box is supposed to sit. This part here is the air plenum that allows air to be blown down through from the heater box assembly and out through each side. These holes here go up to the defroster. These pieces here, there's supposed to be one on each side. You'll notice it's rusted all out on this one. But this here is your heater vent. Hopefully y'all can see. There's the heater vent for the driver's side. And you can see this is supposed to be closed in all on top. There should be a platform across here. So the next thing I've got to do is cut out pieces that will fit this and put the lip on them on each side. Put these holes in them somehow. And cut another piece that will fit back here. Now this was originally two pieces. There was a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom here on the back. I am probably just going to make this all a single piece, seeing how I was able to take it out as a single piece. I may even cut this piece off and save this piece here, seeing how it's not real bad, and it'd be a pain in the ass for me to try to bend and shape that around. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But anyways, that gets us to the point where I've got to smooth this all out. That's just hammer and dolly work. Then I've got to go along. I've already done some hammering work on this side. I'll do the same on that side. Get that all smoothed out. Hammer down here on this, the flange like this that's on this side. I need to hammer that all down. And once that's all done and I have the pieces made, then I can weld in this piece here and get rid of that damn nasty sharpness there before it slices the bejesus out of me. Then weld that piece in, put in those other pieces, and weld those all together. Now, I have this great temptation, because I really hate the thought of doing a real long weld like that. I think what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can find it. Let's see if this can focus. I bought the tool that punches holes for spot welds, but it also has a tool on it that creates these flanges. So what I'm thinking of doing is making these flanges so that they go down like this, put holes in them, spot weld them on like that, because I can goop that up with seam sealer, and it's far less likely to be problematic than if I try to do a big damn long weld across all of this and then have to pound it all out and straighten it all out. I can just punch holes through this with the flange on it, run it down like so, slip the piece in there, get it into place, and then weld through the holes like that, and it'll look like it was spot welded in place. I put the offset to the inside so that any water is going to run down. If I turn around and do it this way with the offset to the inside, or to the other side rather, then it's going to have a lip where the water can sit on top of it and get down into the joint. So that's what my plan is. Implements of destruction included this, a regular grinder, air-powered cut-off saw, hack saw, whatever you want to call it, and an electric grinder with a .040 cutoff disc on it. And I've seen people run these things without the blade guard on. I tried that a little bit, which seemed like a real good idea, but it just terrified the hell out of me. I actually ended up putting on gloves, leather arm pieces like this up to cover my arms up, had a leather apron on, because these things will explode. And if they do, they throw pieces of shit that will cut the hell out of you, and I don't particularly care to have the hell cut out of me. But that'll never happen to me, you'll say. Of course it won't. Because here's a disc, look, that's in perfect shape, right? No. I accidentally dropped that damn thing. Now, if I hadn't noticed that it was bent, when I fired that sumbitch up, that piece was going to come flying off. That's all it was holding. It was just these little pieces of fiberglass thread. So, and oh, by the way, these roll-out grinding things, guess what? I had one of those bastards blow up on me yesterday. So, yeah, you think it won't happen to you. Let me tell you. It's going to happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you will regret it soon and for the rest of your life. A quote from Casablanca. And if you don't know what the movie is, Casablanca, well, then you need to get better educated. All right, folks. I think that's it for now. I have ordered a bending brake, which won't be here for a week and a half or 2 weeks. I have ordered a shitload more spot weld cutters. And by the way, let's talk about spot weld cutters. Let me tell you what I've learned about the spot weld cutters. This is the type I'm using. It's actually got 2 cutting edges on it. You can take this off when this side gets dull and turn it around and use the other side. Now, what I do, I drill a small dent with an 030 drill first, or you could use an 1/8 inch drill, it doesn't matter. Just drill a dent where that spot weld hole is. Now, this pin in the middle pushes down. Let's see, where's a piece of tin. So if you can see it, that pushes down. But let me tell you, this doesn't have enough grip. If you don't have a ding in there, a starting thing to hold that point, it's going to jump all over. So what I do is I drill that little ding in it and then press this down in and slowly push until it's finally cutting. Next thing I've learned, this is a drill I started out using. It's a cheap little Black & Decker 20 volt that has a top speed of about 1200 RPM when it's set on 2. And I thought to myself, obviously, if I get a bigger, more powerful drill that runs at 2100 RPM, I can cut that much faster. Wrong. The fact of the matter is, these bits are designed to cut best at a slow speed. There's a thing called surface feet per minute when you're cutting metals, cutting wood, cutting anything. And that's how fast the cutter can accept and dig into the material and cut some out. So it always operates at how many surface feet per minute. If you're doing grinding, if you're doing milling, if you're doing cutting, if you're doing, hell, even welding is how many surface feet per minute you can run that damn thing. If you try running one of these bits at 2100 RPM, you will flatten that bit over and not cut a damn thing, because it gets hot, and when it gets hot, it softens up and it just bends over. So it seems to me that about the ideal speed for this is around 1200 RPM, which kind of makes sense. So anything else I need to talk about? Wear a face mask anytime you're working on this stuff, because you're going to get dust all over the place. Wear eye protection so you don't get shit blown up in your eye. And if you are grinding using one of these, discs or a grinder like this, if you don't want your arm set on fire or get burns from the damn grinding, get these leather sleeves from Harbor Freight or Eastwood or whoever you want to buy them from, and they will protect your arms, and all that damn grinding shit will hit this and you'll never feel it. And also, if by chance a blade busts, it's got to go through the leather before it goes through and starts whacking the hell out of you. So, all right. I think that's it for now. I still got to cut out that piece up. Where am I at? I still got to cut out this piece right here. And I've got the pieces along the front here that I've got to cut out. And then I can start whacking and smacking and making shit. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is, while I'm out here, while I've got everything out, I'm going to cut that piece out. And if you folks have never seen a piece of metal cut out with a cut-off blade before, sorry, there's lots of people on YouTube that will have videos of it. I'm not going to bother putting that in. This is the piece that I cut out of there. I had to cut it kind of odd shape because there's a PEMSERT right here that's used to hold down some of the electronics crap, or electrical crap. I can't remember what it was, but something was bolted down there. So I had to cut around that. And that's the shape of the piece. So I cut a new piece here, punched holes in it where I can run down through where the spot welds normally used to be. And then now I'm at the point of welding this piece in to this spot right here. And what I'm going to attempt to do, because these metals are slightly different gauges, slightly different thicknesses, I am going to try using these little magnets to hold them at the right spot. That feels good there. Let me slide this over this way. That one does not feel good. And that one does not feel good. What the frig is going on here? That feels good now. So putting this piece in there. That feels pretty good right there. That feels good right there. I'll tack that one right there first, I think. Let's see if we can just hit this real quick. That's all we want there. Hit this piece right here. That feels good now. I think what I'm going to do, now that I've got that in there, is I think that I'm going to use the TIG function on the welder to weld that piece the rest of the way in. Let's talk a little bit about the settings on the welder. Okay, you can see that the settings on the welder are for 90 amps, 19.6 feet per minute, and 16.8 volts. So, now what they recommend, based upon the chart, for 18 gauge steel is 7525 CO2, 18 gauge, they're recommending 60 amps. Well, let me tell you folks, when I tried 60 amps did not burn through to the bottom side. So I tested and tested and tested, and here is some of my testing. I'm not a great welder, I'm learning, but 90 amps would burn through just through to the other side. So that's why I'm using 90 amps. I'm not using a real long hit on it. I'm just tack welding. And I should be able to come back in with a TIG welder now and weld that up. TIG welds, what everything I've read, TIG welds are softer welds and less likely to crack when you hammer and dolly them and do things like that. So that's why I'm TIG welding it this way. Use the MIG welder to get the tacks in the corner, get the piece aligned where it needs to be, and then I'll come back with the TIG to fill in the actual welds themselves. Hope that makes sense. So the machine, a little welder here, recommends 80 amps when you're doing lift TIG, so for 18 gauge steel. So let's see how it works. This machine does not have a foot pedal, and in the past I have done some TIG welding, but I did not use lift TIG, and I'm not a fan of lift TIG because this machine, for whatever reason, the way it's supposed to work is you touch the electrode to the metal with your gas on and then lift it up and it's supposed to start. Well, what happens is when you touch the electrode to the metal, it wants to weld. So what I've learned to do is, if this is the metal, I've learned to set the TIG down like this and then tip it up, because that breaks the weld where it's welded itself to the metal. Let's see what we get. All right, that looks like a good one right there. Yeah. Let's do a little play-by-play on this. Okay, the first thing you'll see is the pop where the electrode touches the metal. Next thing you'll see is I start to lift up, but the electrode is welded to the metal, so I twist it and it breaks loose. But at this point it's already welded to the filler rod. I'm pulling away and the filler rod bounces against everything and sparks fly all over. Hell. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Did I mention I hate lift TIG? What a fucking nightmare. Son of a bitch. Grab the hot end of the steel. Okay, folks. Try this again. Blew a hole clear through it. We're not using 80 amps. This metal is, if I remember correctly, 457. We are going to go with 1 amp per thousandths of an inch thick. Turn your damn gas on, dumbass. God damn it. Did I mention I hate fucking lift arc? I don't know why, but that goddamn thing puts so much amperage into the electrode. It's supposed to put in a small sensing amount. So you would expect it to be like a quarter or half an amp. So it just knew that it was touched to the metal. And then when you lift off, it goes, oh wait, I'm off now. Instead, it puts enough in there to weld the damn electrode right to the metal that you're trying to weld up. It's fucking insane. Maybe it's a matter of practice, but I got to tell you folks, I am not fucking impressed with lift TIG so far. Well, I'll be back on this after I've had a bit more practice and see if it gets any better, but I seriously doubt that it will. Take a little bit closer look at these welds. That was done, that one in there, there, and there. And I believe that one we're all done with the MIG unit. That was done with TIG. That hole was blown through using the settings that they recommended for 18 gauge sheet metal. And this is where the electrode welded itself to the sheet metal. It's fucking insane. Shut up.